Yo, hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're all having an amazing week. Currently it is Friday and let's get right to the charts as Bitcoin basically dropped down towards almost the value area low of the summer range from 2024. I did post yesterday on my X that potentially we are going to see a bounce from the POC with a liquidation week, and this is exactly what has happened. If you look closely, we dropped down through that POC, but only with a liquidation week, and right now price is having a nice bounce from here. Now, could this be a local bottom, you may ask? Potentially, and let me show you why. We do have that liquidation cluster that I was talking about yesterday, and what crazy is, I was talking about that how it's gonna take us a while to basically grab all the liquidity, this whole cluster, which is not yet grabbed basically all of it. We still have some liquidity left towards 53k, but even though still we got a very big drop all the way from 70k towards 60k, and we grabbed almost all of that liquidity, which is pretty insane. I was expecting this to happen throughout the week and maybe next week, maybe even during the weekend, but not as of yesterday for a one single day, which is exactly what happened. For a single day, Bitcoin dropped almost 18%. You can see that's a $13,000 in price change correction, which is pretty extreme to see. Daily RSI levels are starting to get extremely oversold right here, as you can see, even dropping below our 20 line. And also the fear and greed index is at 5. I have not seen that fear and greed index at 5, I don't think ever, which is pretty insane to see. We dropped to the extreme fear even lower than back in the tariff capitulations basically, and basically the last time when Bitcoin dropped towards 80k, we are sitting at 5, which is pretty insane. A lot of people are scared, and in my opinion this is a perfect opportunity. As I told you yesterday, I did buy some spot Bitcoin. Of course, this is not a financial advice, but this is cheap, guys. If you measure it from its all-time high, basically that's Bitcoin from 52%, basically half, 50% discount, you can say it like this, from its all-time high, which is pretty nice to see. And this also why, in my opinion, this is a good opportunity to buy. Now, what is possible also is that we might go even lower, since we've already hit our yearly second support right here, and the last one is basically at around 44k, which we might hit potentially until the summer. We have right here, if we measure through rest of the year, potentially through August, basically the beginning of the ending of Q3 and the beginning of Q4, we could see another 30% of price drop towards the yearly support tree, and we could also grab the liquidity which is sitting below that liquidation week from back in 2024 August. And I don't want to talk about like 38 or maybe like 20k Bitcoin, since right here it is, in my opinion, we won't go as deep as the bear market bottoms from 2022 and 2023. In my opinion, we are going to be starting to range a little bit here, maybe even for like 1 or 2 months, and then we might get a relief rally happening towards the upside before we actually start dropping even lower. Hype is holding pretty well. Now, my opinion for Hype is we are either gonna see Hype at like 100 or maybe above $200, or we're gonna see it basically flop to back towards its lows. But in my opinion, the more probable scenario is that we're going to see Hype pump. Solana also almost did reach that $50 mark, which is pretty insane. We dropped down all the way towards like 68. Ethereum also dropped down towards its first yearly pivot support, which was sitting at around $1,763. The stock market is also trying to bounce a little bit, as you can see, bouncing from the weekly S3, and currently the daily open is right around there. The S&P 500 from the bottom is up almost 0.5%, currently rejecting from that Monday low, as you can see. The dollar is also potentially gaining that momentum to the upside. Open interest and CVD for Bitcoin. CVD, you can see, still rolling over to the downside, and open interest is also basically flushed out. We don't have any open interest in the market. We do have, but it is very, very low, and we do have some very big bearish volume, as you can see right here. Spot ETFs, I won't even cover that. You can see it is basically outflows from all of the bigger institutions. Long versus shorts ratio for the day, of course, we do have overall on the major exchanges more sellers in the market. Funding rates starting to flip negative for Bitcoin on the major exchanges, and we do have some news coming out today. In about like 3 hours, we're going to be having some inflation data news, which could give us some relief if the news are good. But other than that, I do think we are also due for a relief, since almost all of the time frames are being very, very oversold. As you can see right here, people are scared, and this is when it's a good opportunity to buy or to go long. Of course, this is not financial advice. This is just my outlook for the market, guys. And I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.